Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Darkest Night, 2nd edition, where we're still trying to find a holy relic to defeat the Necromancer, but we think we've got one tied down in the forest, so let's get on with trying to find it. But first, yes, I made a couple of errors last episode. I did catch a couple, but a couple just slid by. The easiest one to fix is closed in. If you remember, when we actually ended up pulling it out, it did say then add a timer marker to it, which I didn't. So it should have had a timer marker to begin with, and then we should have added another during the Necromancer phase. So it's got 2 on it now. I've put 2 on it now, so we're up to date there. The other error was with Thorne and Omen. I've just got so used to pulling the events during the event phase that I forgot that when we attack and fail, like Thorne did, we should have pulled another event. So what we've got to do is pull another event. Another thing was, I actually did do it, but I forgot to actually mention it. I was going to put a little note on the video, but I'd got carried away with doing Zulana's stuff. When he attacked the Blight, I did actually take a secrecy off him, so he was down to 4 secrecy. So I should have actually shown you that on the video, and I should have put a note up, but I forgot. But he is on 4, so I did catch that. But what I didn't catch was the fact that we had to take another event. So let's see what he would have got. Midnight, oh, 7, brilliant. Oh. +1 darkness. The dead do not rest. So we've got +1 darkness. Well, at least I don't have to do a load of rolling. But that is still pretty bad, because that puts us on to 7 darkness. That's soon to be 8 darkness at the end of this turn. Well, this set of turns, this round. So I think we will probably end up on 10. Before we manage to kill the Necromancer, so he is going to get another ability. I was hoping to avoid that, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So we're all up to date with what happened in episode 5 now, so we can get on with episode 6. Remember, Zulana misses a turn this turn, so we're only going to have 3 of our heroes going. Who's going to go first? Well, it's going to be Veydea. So let's get across and let's have a look at her player area. And here we are with Veydea, so let's turn that over because this is her turn. What's the plan? The plan is she's going to move into the forest. Unfortunately, she is already exhausted the Prophecy of Fortune. We tried to pull a fast one last turn, didn't work, but there we go. These things happen. She'll move into the forest, and then I think what we'll do the turn after that is we will roll for prediction, I think. If she can get a 6, then we just automatically give the relic to her. So we will try that, but let's get her to the forest first. I think that is the best plan. Okay, so let's get back to the monastery, and let's do her movement. And here we are with Veydea in the Monastery. This should be quite quick because she's in the Monastery. She's not going to get an event. Obviously, the Necromancer isn't there, and she has no start of turn effects on her powers. So it's just a question of going straight to her action, and her action is to move. So there she goes. She joins those three in the forest. She does gain a secrecy. So that will take her up to 4 secrecy. You get a secrecy for moving. But other than that, that is Veydea done. Because she doesn't have to bother with the omen, because you do that during the event phase. Yeah, and she had her event phase in the Monastery, so she has avoided that. Okay, so that is it for Veydea. Next up, we have been playing Zulana next, but Zulana, she's missing a turn, so she doesn't do anything. She doesn't get anything good, she doesn't get anything bad. We just miss her out completely. Who is going to go next? Well, in fact, Costigan is going to go next now. He's going to leap ahead of Thorne, and he is going to have a go. So let's go across to the player area and have a look at Costigan. And here we are with Costigan. So we'll flick that over. What's Costigan going to try and do? Well, he's actually going to try and get rid of that Omen Blight, which is why we're going before Thorne. Now, this depends very much on how he does with his events, because he's going to get 2 events here, so we don't really know how this is going to go. His grace is at 2. He can pray in the forest, but I'd like to get rid of that Omen Blight. But if things go bad on the events, then what might happen is he might have to pray. But as it stands, we're going to have a go at getting rid of that Omen Blight. Okay, so that is it for Costigan. There is nothing more but to get across to the map and see how he goes on. And here we are with Costigan. We'll probably have to use this, so we'll pop that in there. Can we see it? Yes, we can. Okay, Costigan. Start of his turn. Is the Necromancer there? He is not. Doesn't matter if he was, because he's got his void armour on anyway. Start of turn effects for his power cards. There aren't any, so we can skip that, and it's straight into events. But we do have this Omen Blight in the forest, so we're going to have to pick 2. And our first one is Betrayal. That doesn't sound good. It's got 5 fate, and we lose a secrecy. Oh, that's not too bad. Because he's got void armour, so it doesn't really matter. Only 3 other people knew about the rendezvous, yet when you arrive it is swarming with the dead. So that is Betrayal. And the second one is Vengeful Spit, but that's only a 4, so whatever this is we're discarding anyway. Ooh, nasty. Compared to Secrecy, well, our Secrecy was like none to 2, so we would have got a Hunter, so I'm glad this only had a fate of 4. So that was 5 to defend against, or 6 to elude. Failure with a lost of grace. See, we haven't got a lot of grace. A breath of wind, a darkness amongst the trees. Something has ceased its repose. Dun, dun, dun. But we don't get that. All we do is lose a secrecy. What does that put him on? That puts him on to 0 secrecy. But fortunately, secrecy isn't like grace. So we can run around at 0 secrecy as much as we like, especially with regards to the Necromancer, because we found that void armour. Man, am I thankful that we got that void armour. Otherwise, the Necromancer would have just been following Costigan around like now, right? But anyway, so that's fine. So Costigan is now going to lose a grace, though. He's going to go down to 1 grace because he is going to play his tactic of Wrath, which means he has to spend a grace to fight with 4 dice, and that's what he's going to do. And he's going to try and beat this Omen. Now, we might end up with another event here if we don't get a 6, but 4 dice, it's got to be worth it, hasn't it? Let's give him a good shake. Come on, Costigan. 6! Yes! Get in! So he has defeated the Omen. That is brilliant. So that is really good news. The Omen has bit the dust. I'll just get rid of it. That is fabulous. So we now have absolutely no blights in the forest. Whew, that was worth saying that. You know, we had a good chance with 4 dice, but it was still a bit of a risk, but we got away with it. Okay, yes, fantastic. Now, he did attack a blight there, so you do lose a secrecy. But the fact is, he's at 0 secrecy anyway, so you can't lose any more. Yeah, so he just remains at 0 secrecy. As I say, we've got the void armor, so thank God for that. Right, so that is Costigan. Don't have to bother with the blight. It doesn't kick in at the end of turn anyway, but we've got rid of it. And that is it. Okay. Right, after Costigan, it's our final player for this hero turn, and that is Thorne. Let's pop across and have a look at his player area. And here we are with Thorne. Dead easy for Thorne now, because Costigan has done the business. What Thorne is going to do is he is going to pick up that holy relic. So I think he will lose a secrecy. I'm not sure he loses it when he picks it up, but as soon as we get to the Necromancer phase, I think he loses a secrecy. I'll just check that before we get across to the board. But yes, he is going to pick up the holy relic. Once we have the holy relic, that will mean he gets +1 to anything he rolls on a die. So he has the possibility of getting a 7. But depending on how Veydea rolls next turn, she's going to roll on that prediction. If she gets a 6, he will hand it off to her. If she doesn't get a 6, then he will probably hand it off to Costigan. And we'll look to have Costigan do a bit of praying and stuff next turn. And yes, we've got to get his grace up. And then we will just wait for the Necromancer to trundle along his way. And Verdeo may pray or hide next turn, because we could do with the extra die from the Prophecy of Fortune. So she could do with refreshing that and giving it to Costigan, I think. Okay, right, brilliant. So let's pop across to the forest and let's pick up that relic. And here we are back at the forest. We spent all our turn in the forest. So is the Necromancer there? No, he isn't. Have we got any start of turn effects on Thorne's powers? No, we haven't. So it's straight into the event. Remember, we still have visions though. We're only pulling 1 event because Omens has gone. And we get Evil Day, which doesn't look so clever. Ooh, 5 fate. Exhaust a power or draw 2 more events. Something has stirred the dead to frenzy. Well, I don't fancy that. We're not going to draw 2 more events. What power are we going to exhaust? We've got Camouflage, Visions, or Mist Form. I think we will exhaust Mist Form. We're going to exhaust Mist Form. I did briefly consider Visions there, because obviously you can kick back an event with Visions, but let's keep that just in case we get a nasty event next turn. So yes, we have exhausted Mist Form. So we've done that. And now it is his action. And for his action, yes. Oh, the Holy Relic. The Holy Hand Grenade has gone and been picked up by Thorne. So that's brilliant. Okay, so we've got our relic. Things are looking great. Okay, if only we could if we can get the Necromancer down here before he gets that extra ability, because we don't know what that extra ability is going to be. It could be something horrendous. So we could do with actually getting him down here and killing him before he gets that extra darkness card. Okay, anyway, talking of the Necromancer, it is now the Necromancer's turn. So let's get a look at the full board and see what happens. And here we are back at the board. Couple of things. First of all, we had to spend 10 clues to pick up that relic, so we're down to a single clue now. So glad I remembered that. The other thing I said, I was going to check the Holy Relic, and did we lose a secrecy? You don't lose a secrecy for picking it up. so that's fine. He's still on the same secrecy. He will lose a secrecy at the start of his next turn because the relic is in his possession. Also, when he hands it across, so say he hands it across to Costigan, Costigan will immediately lose a secrecy. When you hand it over from hero to hero, the hero that receives it also loses a secrecy. But as far as picking it up goes, you don't lose a secrecy. So he's still on 4 secrecies, Thorne. But as I say, start of next turn, he will lose one because it's in his possession. Right, okay, so we've got that straight. And it is now the Necromancer's turn. So we've got to increase the darkness by 1. So that goes up to 8. We've also got to put a couple of timers on our quests. And they've only got 1 single round left now each. So that's 2 on making waves and 3 on the closed in. So we'll pop that on there. What I'll also do, just to remind myself for next turn, is we will stand up Zulana. So she's ready to go for next turn. Right, so we've sorted out the quests, we've sorted out the darkness track. It's now movement time. So let's see where he's going, who he's going to spot. A 1. Brilliant. He's done 2 1s in a row. Fantastic. So where does 1 take him? 1 will take him to the swamp. So he is in the swamp. That is fantastic. Remember, although Costigan has absolutely 0 on his secrecy, he does have the void armour. So the Necromancer cannot see him. Yeah, so that is why he's gone to the swamp. But we get a blight in the swamp, so we need a map card. We look at swamp and we get revenants. So I will just pick those out, won't be a moment. And here are the remnants, if I can get them to stay on. Stay on! Right. Well, as you can see, these are another monster. So if you're end your turn where revenants are, you have to defend against them with a 5 or better, or you have to elude them with a 4 or better. If you fail, you lose a grace, and if you attack them, you've got to get a 5 or better, or you lose a grace. So we will pop this up here in the swamp with his mates, the skeletons there, and we now have 3 blights in the swamp, but that's okay. What we're going to look to do now, that is the end of the Necromancer's turn, by the way. What we're going to do now is we're going to look to, I think Zulana might actually try and do making waves. That skull token will be very useful. So I think we'll do that next turn if we can. And these guys down here are just going to do stuff like trying to get grace back in the case of Costigan, because remember, we can use the Sacred Glade to pray, and the other 2, well, they'll either search or look to refresh some powers. I think Veydea will try and refresh that Prophecy of Fortune, and Thorne may do a bit of searching in order to try and find something funky. If we could find another artifact, for example, that'd be great. Or something like bottled magic. Bottled magic gives you extra dice, so that'd be really useful as well for Costigan. I think we will keep... Oh, in fact, no, Thorne may actually trade. I think... Or can you trade at any time? I think you can trade at any time. Yes, you can. So Thorne will search. He will also trade that holy relic to Costigan. It's best that Costigan has it because Costigan has the void armour. So it doesn't matter... As far as the Necromancer goes, it doesn't matter how many secrecy Costigan loses because the Necromancer cannot see him. So that's funky. We've got to prepare now in the forest, get ready, and hopefully we can drag the Necromancer over there when we are ready and look to defeat him. So yes, looking cool, but we've still got to play our turns out and we will still get event cards, so things could still happen that well, cause us problems. Although we've got rid of blights in the forest, that doesn't mean we don't get a nasty event card, which makes us put blights in the forest. So we can't rest on our laurels too much, but it's looking pretty good. So hopefully we can carry it through. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, so that is it for episode 6. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the views. Thanks for all the subscriptions. Thank you for all the likes and the dislikes. You're still watching. And thank you for all the help and support. Anybody who's been across the board game links, have a look at the videos over there. Thank you so much. And the same goes for the video threads on BGG. Any comments either here or on BGG or Geeko or anything like that, thank you. It is much appreciated. But yes, that is it for episode 6. Oh, nearly forgot. Any mistakes? Let me know and I will try and fix them. And yes, we'll get it all straight and shipshape for the start of next turn if I've done anything wrong. Other than that, thank you for watching episode 6. I hope you join me for episode 7. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.